Hi everyone. We are going to remove our shimmers. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use a mini file. That way it's a lot easier to get at your nails to be able to take your top layer of your shimmer off. Now we're going to use the rough edge, what you normally would use to file your actual nails, only because that way we're going to get through that top layer a lot quicker. We don't have to worry about it going through everything and damaging your nail. We just want to get through that shimmer. Being that it's a powder that you're putting on top of a clearly frisky, you have to make sure that you can penetrate through that. What we're doing right now is we're just getting any of the shiny areas off of the nail. We don't want to have to try to penetrate through that shiny coating. I'm going over to the other nail and just double checking to make sure that all of the shiny areas are off, and trying to make sure that you avoid the actual nail plate that is bare of polish. There we go, we're all set to go. We've got our Flake Off ready. We're going to give it a good shake. This is a new one, so I'm going to peel the sticker off of it. Now we're going to take our paper towel and take any excess dust off of our nails to make sure that we're not getting it mixed up in our Flake Off. Open it up. Make sure that you've got a good dollop of Flake Off on your brush and give it a good coating over your nails. Don't be very finicky with it, I guess you might say. Just make sure you got a whack of it on there. That way it'll make sure it will penetrate through your shimmer and hopefully, fingers crossed, through your clearly on the bottom. Now, being that we do have to use a clearly frisky coat for the shimmer to adhere to before we cure, we know that we have to penetrate through the shimmer itself and the clearly frisky on the nail itself. So as you can see, we're getting some bubbling here, so our Flake Off is working. We might need to do 2 coats, which is a probability, not might, probability, only because we are going through a lot of buildup on our nails. So as you can see, it is starting to bubble on both nails. And this is the one good thing about making sure that you embrace the gap, because when you embrace the gap, you're going to have that area when you are ready to remove your polish that will make sure that whether you use the pads or the Flake Off, it will get underneath the edge of your polish. There we go. We're waiting about 3 to 5 minutes for the first time. Then we're going to give it a try with our cuticle pusher. And there we go. Fast forward to our 3 or 5. We're going to take the pusher and very gently push. And especially with this, you won't see the flaking like you normally would on your regular polish. And being that this is a little harder to get off with a pushing because you've got so much on your nail, I use the edge of the scraper, that is the dull side, not the sharp side that you would normally clean your nails with. You're going to use the dull side, that way you're not going to damage your nails. And we're just going to take off anything that's got any kind of lifting. We're not going to go with resistance. If there is resistance there, that means you need to do another coat of your Flake Off. We're just taking off everything we can and doing a light type scrape over top to get any excess powder that's on there. And then as you can see on the paper towel, we're getting some more powder off of there, so we're just going to give that a quick wipe off. That's just taking anything excess off that's kind of loose. And we're going to take our Flake Off and we're going to redo our Flake Off, making sure that we're putting big globs of it on there again. Make sure you cover your whole nail. There we go. And we're all covered again. Just make sure that you get your whole nail on there because you can make sure that your flake off is going under the polish. Now, time elapsed again. We're going to go over it, and there we go. That's coming off a little easier. We're doing a little bit of pushing, a little bit harder than we normally would because of the shimmer on it, and it's taking a lot less to come off. There we go. It's coming off of there. Make sure you get around. And the tips are usually a little harder, especially if you've got longer nails, because it's hard to get them on an angle where you can actually get it. So it's a little bit more pushing, but it doesn't damage the nails because I'm using the rounded edge and I'm not scraping, I'm pushing. There, we're just going to take that little pieces that were a little bit more resistant. This nail is a little easier to come off. And like I said, just make sure you don't scrape your nail plate because you can do damage. And especially if you don't use the rounded edge, because it could peel a little bit of the nail plate off. So just be very careful at what you're doing and do not scrape hard. We're just doing that. As you can see up close, I'm just pulling it down, and I'm checking with my other nail to see if it needs a little bit more. This is very loose, so I'm just pushing it off with my nail. And there you go. We're taking off all that powder, and you can see everything. We're going to take, after that, just to make sure we get some more hydration on our nails, we're going to put some oil on. I'm going to wipe off the powder to make sure it doesn't get in my oil. And to do your nails with your oil best, you put it between the first knuckle and your nail bed. Give it a good rub. That stimulates the growth from the nail underneath. Then your excess, you're going to rub around the sides of your fingernail and onto your nail itself to give it some more hydration. And there you go, you're all done and ready.